Good afternoon. It's just 4:30 on Friday the 25th of May. I've come down to local club water again in pursuit of tench again today, and I've picked two lines of attack. I'm actually going to fish the feeder today. It's my first line of attack, about 20-25 yards out. I know that the water's probably 12 foot deep out there, so it's easier than me fishing afloat. And when I was here the other week, and I had a good plumb about with the float then, so I know the depth of water. And I've also baited up a swim once again near side near this bush, and I've baited that up with luncheon meat, which I brought with me, and I'm going to fish luncheon meat on that a little bit later on the float. But my first line of attack is the feeder with lobworm and ground bait in a cage feeder, 6 pound main line. I've got a 3 pound hook link on, size 16 hook, barbless obviously, and we'll start off on that because I'm expecting the tench to be further out at this time of day, but they should work their way in shortly, hence why I'm feeding the two lines, and I'll swap to this line a little bit later on. It's been, most of you will probably know, watch the weather, it's been raining really heavy all morning, and it was supposed to abate at about 1 o'clock, but it's not. As I said, it's 4:30 and it's still coming down now. So because I'm fishing a barbless hook, I'm just going to put half a lobworm on at a time so that it won't wriggle off, and hope that I don't get pestered with small perch, which when I fished here last time there was an awful lot of small perch in the water. I've made the ground bait quite stiff because I want to plug it at either end and drop a few maggots in the middle and then plug it again, because I want it to go right down to the bottom fairly quickly. I want to avoid the smaller fish that are all in the upper layers, which I know from when I fished here previously. I'm on about a 3 foot hook link at the moment. I'll start with that, and then dependent upon the bites that I get, I'll either shorten it or I might even have to lengthen it. Put that down. Just check that hook. Yeah, very loose enough. Tighten up to it. I normally like to fish with a target board when I'm quiver tipping. Target board in front of the quiver tip. It's easier to see the bites than it is staring at the water all the time. But we're only here for a short session, and I didn't bring any wellies or anything with me, so I can't get down into the water to set one up. probably start with half a dozen quick casts first off and see how we get on, and then get a little bit of bait out in that particular spot. And then I'll adjust how much bait to put out there with whether I'm getting any bites. And I'll keep topping this inside swim up with a few pieces of luncheon meat. There is a lot of carp in this water, as you saw from before, because I caught one the last time I was here from off the top, and you saw all of them spawning, or not spawning, sorry, swimming around. They're spawning now, that's why they've got the notices up. So hopefully I shouldn't get bothered with them, but you can never tell. But Tench quite fond of luncheon meat, as are chub, as are barbel, and as are carp. But as you know, my trip over to Snitterfield Reservoir only resulted in the one tench of about 6 inches, and I had a nice crucian of about a pound or so, and the koi. But I felt my best chance of getting some reasonable sized tench was coming back to here. And then I'm probably going back to Snitterfield Reservoir tomorrow to fish gorgeous crucians tomorrow, and see if I can bag a few more, and perhaps some bigger ones. When I pulled up, got through the gate here and went to use toilets, when I came out there was a lad called Johnny, his name was, came over to speak to me, and he fishes here quite a lot, and he fishes both the front pool and the back pool, and he was telling me that the Tench is quite partial to lobworms, so hopefully we're doing the right thing. There was only one other chap on the lake when I arrived. He's about half a dozen swims back that way. And I asked him if he'd done any good, and he said that he'd only been here about half an hour and he'd just started getting a few knocks. He said that it is an evening water, and they do come on well of an evening, and they do come in much closer, so we shall see. But whatever, I'm out, I'm enjoying myself, that's the most important. What a contrast in the weather it's been. As you know, I was here the other week and at Snitterfield Reservoir the other day, absolutely roasting. And then I went night fishing a couple of nights ago, and it was absolutely freezing. Come today and it's cold, wet and drizzly. but it's probably better conditions for fishing. And I certainly think the fishing won't improve till all the fish have spawned. Anyway, I'll have a quick recast, because as I said, I wanted to the umbrella. I'll add a couple of balls of ground bait to kick-start the swim. As I said, I've made this really stiff because I want it to go down to the bottom. I think I'll turn the camera off until something starts happening. Well, we just had the first bite. Not sure what it is at the moment. I don't think it's quite pulling hard enough for a tench. If it hasn't woken up yet. Oh, it is a tench, but it's a smaller one, but it is the first tench of the session. Well, there you go. Where have you been, my elusive little friend? Taking it down as well. Surprised. There we go. I'll just hold him up for you in a minute. I think I'll pop him in the keep net. It's not over £3. Ooh. I forgot how slippery they are, but he's a bit bigger than that 6-inch one I had the other day when he'll hold still. That's him. There we go. At long last, perhaps we've broke the Tench duck. I can get out after some big ones a little bit later on. Right, I'll pop him in the keep net, I think. Leave him there a second. Nothing more was happening on the feeder rod, so I've gone to the float and I'm going to fish on the inside just here. I've put a 1.5 AA float on to get out there because it's a little bit tricky with these trees above me, and then further down I've got a number 4 and a number 8 that will take it down fairly quickly. Just had a little perch on worm, which you would expect. I'll try some luncheon meat in a moment. I'm starting to see one or two fish make on the surface, so some activity starting now. As I said, it's a little bit tricky with these trees above me, but it comes into this corner here and then it shallows up quite a bit as it comes into here. Out there it's, I said it's a good 10-11 foot deep. It comes into this corner and it's probably about 8. We'll give it a go on the float for a little while. See if the tench have moved closer in. Sometimes on these venues it's all too easy to fish too far out. Oh, missed that one. At least it's stopped raining now. Probably catch quite a bit of small stuff while I'm fishing here, unfortunately. Oh, that's one. Now that isn't something small. Could be a good tench. Which is what we've come for. Not bending the rod, certainly doesn't seem fast enough or powerful enough for a carp. Yes, it is. Thank you. Come and have your picture taken. There we go, that's a better one. Put the mat down. They're very lively. Ooh. It's only a barbless hook, but it's amazing when they get it inside the mouth, just on that tough piece, how it digs in. I think his camera's right. There we go. Put him over in there, and then he drops. Oh no. There we go. So they don't elude me forever. Popping in the keep now. Keep the other one company. A few more like that won't go miss. One thing we don't want, and that's any carp. The tree is a bit of a nuisance. Another one just topped on the surface further over. And there's quite a few carp jumping as well. But I don't really want any of those. Put another ball of ground bait in. Little places to settle ducks, that's not it. Come on. Got a tree on the cast and lost the shot. keep my eye out just in case I start getting bites on the drop. I'll show up if I do. What I've done is I've made the ground bait real stiff, and then I create a hole in it, fill it with maggots in the centre and chuck it in, and that goes right down to the bottom then, rather than it breaking up on the surface. Here's another one. Doesn't feel very big though, whatever it is. No, it's a roach. Oh, you'd think it was a tench for a minute or two, but reasonable size. Nice little red fin. Ah, small stuff again. Believe it or not, it is actually a small tench. Too hard to hang on to, as you can see. Come on. Look at that. Tiny, tiny. Just like the one I caught the other day. But it is another tench. I do always used to enjoy looking at my catch at the end of the day, which of course I seldom ever use a keep net now, so it's a rarity, but I brought one on this occasion. Put those down. Yes, as they said on A Passion for Angling, from the sublime which is the sort of size we were really after, and a bit bigger, about 3 or 4 pounds. I wasn't expecting anything much bigger than that. To the absolute ridiculous. Anyway, get these all put back now. Come on, you. It's nice to see them at the end of the day. And of course the little perch that we caught. And in here should be my roach. It wasn't too bad at all. Probably about 8 ounces plus, eh? And one more little perch. Come on. Right, anyway, that's it. I'm going to head for home. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and all the best with your angling.